Okay, so should we begin?
Yes, please.
That's great. So, hello everyone, and good afternoon or good morning, based on where you are. Thank you very much for being here today. So, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Katerina, and I am the sales representative for Hoteliga. And this webinar is going to be hosted by me and my colleague Vicky. She is the sales executive of Hoteliga, and together we will show you some of the features that can help you manage your properties. Now, for those of you who don't know us yet, hoteliga was born in 2014, and since then we have grown a lot over the years. Hoteliga is a PMS in the cloud system, which allows you to manage the operations of your hotel from wherever you are. It is a complete and simple system that covers all your hotel's needs. It's a 3-in-1 with its own PMS, channel manager, and booking engine. Now, as long as you have access to the internet, you can log into your Hoteliga account from wherever you are and from any device or browser you wish. Now, you have the ability to be aware of what is happening to your property and make any necessary actions to make sure your customers are satisfied and that your property is up and running perfectly. Now, please feel free to write any questions that might come up in the chat, as there will be a Q&A session in the end. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce Vicky, who will start the presentation of the PMS.
Thank you, Katerina, for the introduction. Nice to meet you, everyone. I'm Vicky, and I'm going to share my screen so we can start. Katerina, can you confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, Vicky, I can see your screen.
Okay, so as Katerina mentioned, the Hoteliga, actually Hoteliga is a 3-in-1 system. So we will start from the PMS, which is actually the basic system. And this is the homepage. So once someone logs into his account, he comes here, which is like an overview of the day. Here on the left side, you can see the arrivals that we have for today. Here on the right side, we can see the departures. And here, if I move a little bit to the bottom, we can see the customers that they are now staying in one of the rooms of the property. So actually, here you can have an overview, and you can also do the check-in for the arrivals and accordingly the checkout for the departures. Besides that, for each reservation, you can see some basic data like the name of the customer, the channel that the reservation came from, and the country of the customer, and also the basic information for his reservation. You can also access his reservation by clicking this button here. So it says reservation. But let's go from the shortcuts that we have here to the calendar, which is actually the main tool that we daily use. So let me tell you something first to keep in mind. This is an account of a hotel, and I'm saying that because Hoteliga is at a great level, fully customizable to the property needs. This means that if you have a hostel, if you have a camping, if you managing apartments or villas, or if you have a hotel, this is gonna be customized based on your property kind. So on the left side, we have the room types. For each room type, we have selected a color, and here you can see the rooms listed. The rooms, you can have them either with numbers or with names, the same way you have them in your property. Here, we can see the reservations, and we can see all the reservations, even if we inserted them manually, or they came from a channel through the channel manager or from the booking engine. I have selected here to see the reservations based on the status of its reservation. So I have selected the gray colors for the checked out reservations, the green color for the checked in ones, and the future reservation, we can see them in purple. So alternatively, you can see the reservations based on the payment status or based on the channel or the travel agency. In any case, the logo of each channel or travel agency, you can see it just here before the name of the customer for its reservation. So what can we do from here? If you select once if you click once on a reservation, you just select it, and you can have access to the management tools of the reservation coming here to this toolbar, and more specifically, clicking on the strike. And here you can do multiple actions for this reservation. So for example, you can group reservations to manage them bulkily. This means that they can come either from the same travel agency, or it can be a group of reservations, or ungroup them. You can also split the reservation, copy it, lock it, or delete it. And you can also change the status from here. Now, sorry, I just want to mention that if any question comes up, please feel free to write them in the chat, as Katerina said before, and we're gonna see them in the end of the webinar, that there's gonna be a Q&A session. So if we click twice on the reservation, we actually access the reservation window. Here on the basic data tab, we can see all the information and the basic data for each specific reservation. So this reservation came from the booking engine, from the hoteliga booking engine, and here below, all the information have been pre-filled. So we have information about the room type, the number of guests, and the board. And here, based on the fields above, the system gives you automatically the normal price directly from your price list. Of course, you can have multiple price lists inside your hoteliga account. However, here you have a field called agreed price, and a different price might be displayed, for example, 1,500. So this means that the guest got a discount. Let me save the reservation. So if this reservation would have come from a channel and you would double click on it to just check it, and you could see that the guest actually got a discount of 14%. Here in the field notes from channel, the system would give you all the necessary information directly from the channel. And also the system would also justify this discount. So for example, if the reservation was from booking.com, the system might tell you that the guest got 10% off because it was a Genius member, or because he booked through the mobile application of booking.com. So you have all the information here, and the commission also, because we actually are forced to pay different amount of commissions to different channels. If I go up, I here have different tabs, and I can have many information about the reservation and the guest. If I come here to the customer tab, I can see all the information about my guest. And here we have some categories. This is a very important tool, actually, that you can have your own categories and you can allocate the customers into those categories. So for example, this could be a loyal customer. In this way, you can then create some offers or promo codes and give them to specific people that you want to approach. Or for example, because you also have this information in the homepage we were before, you know how to welcome your guests. You know he's a loyal customer, and maybe you want to give him a complimentary gift upon his arrival. So let's move forward and see some other options. Here in the messages tab, actually, this is a tool for Airbnb and booking.com, and you can actually see here all the messages you receive inside the extranets. This is a very, you can save a lot of time with this tool, because you can actually have here all the history of the communication, and you can also reply from here as well. This is very important because you have this in the reservation tab, and you can have access to the communication without having to go to the extranet. If I go here to the email tab, this is a very, very useful tool that will help you be consistent with the communication you need to maintain with your guests. Here you have some templates. You can have as many templates as you wish in any languages as you want. And let me make it a bit bigger. So basically, this works like a normal email. So you can have photos, you can have URLs, like links, and also based on the variables that you will need to include in the emails, some information directly from the reservation and from the customer will be displayed automatically here, like we see now with the name of the guest. You can also edit the email before sending it if you wish to, because you might want to share a different information with this customer.
Vicky, just a question.
Yes.
Can this be an automated process?
Yes, you can, of course. So this is a good question. Of course, you can automate this process because actually this will help you to be consistent with all the communication you want to have with your guests. So basically, you can select your own templates, basically, and you can set them to be sent automatically when you wish. For example, for the thank you email template, you can set it to be sent 2 hours after the checkout, for example. So you won't need to worry to send this email. It will automatically be sent from the system.
Mhm.
Also, we have some templates that you can use. We have some, I mean, by default, but you can also create your own ones. And let's move on to the extras. We're going to go slowly to the invoicing process because in the PMS, all the invoicing tools are included. And this is very important here to mention because based on the country you are, all the legislation, policies, and the taxation that are currently valid in your countries, they cannot be applied here in your hoteliga account. So we are here to always discuss and check how we can set them, we can help you to set them up. So here in the extras, basically, if I click new extra charge, I can have a list with all the extra services or complementary products you might provide your guests with. So for example, there might be a guest that actually wanted to have a coffee, an Americano. You can have here this option with the price pre-filled, and you can actually add this extra charge to the reservation. In this way, you actually know what your customer consumed, but you can also see which of the products and services that you offer are popular to your guests. Let's go to the cost breakdown. Here, you can actually see the cost breakdown of the reservation. So the reservation costs 1,500. This is the Americanos that we did before. And here we have some taxes. If the taxes actually are being calculated on top of the total price, you can see them here separately. If they're included, it's going to be in the price. If I move down, I can also see the overnight cost here. So what we strongly advise actually is to register all the payments. Either it's a down payment or it's a full payment. You can come here. Let me confirm the amount. Okay. You can come here to the payments and click new payment. Select the payment method and here type the amount of money that you got from the customer. Now let's imagine that it was a full payment. So I'm going to register the full amount. And if I come here to the cost breakdown, you're going to see that the balance is updated now. So we're going to now proceed to the invoicing. I come here and I click Final Invoice. And I can select here the template. So again, we work with templates for the invoices because you might want to have your invoice both in English and in Spanish, for example. So I can, if you want to have them in two separate invoices, you mean. Otherwise, you can have one common invoice in both languages. So in case I want to have them into separate invoices, I come here, I select my template. Of course, here in the notes field, I can add a comment if I want for the specific invoice. And below, I have my preview. This is a very good opportunity if you want to be sure and do a double check that everything is correct. Again, you have here variables that all the information can be retrieved directly from the reservation and from the customer data. And once everything is correct and you're sure, you can just proceed and click issue. Your invoice has been issued this way, and you can either print it and give it to your guest, or if you want to save paper, you can just email it to him directly. You can always download it in PDF or in Excel if you wish to have a copy. Here you have also some other tabs that are very, very useful depending on your property type. So for example, if you own some apartments or if you're managing apartments or villas, it's going to be very beneficial for you to work with security deposits. So here you can actually insert the amount of the security deposit you got from the customer and the date. And type here once you return it back to the guest upon his departure. Or if you work with down payments, maybe this tool planned payments can be very useful for you, because here you can insert a payment that you have agreed with the customer to receive on a specific date. And then there is a specific report that you can check, and you can check all the payments that you're waiting for to receive during the next period. So all in all, these were the main tools inside the reservation window. If any questions have come up so far, please feel free to write them in the chat. And we're gonna move on to the next big functionality of the PMS, which is the housekeeping tasks. Here on the left, we have the rooms. We have all the rooms, and next to them, there is a sign. Here next to 104, we can see a sun, and then for the rest of them, we can see a bin. Those small icons actually illustrate the housekeeping status of each one of the rooms. There are two ways to manage the housekeeping tasks. The first one requires that the housekeeping staff has a smartphone, or maybe you have a tablet in the property. So if they do have a smartphone, or if you use a tablet, they can have access only to the page that I'm going to show you now. Only to this page, and they can see for all the rooms, all the tasks that they have to be done today. So for example, once they start cleaning the room 106, they can click once on it, it becomes orange, and you can be updated in real time about the housekeeping status of this specific room, because here you can see that there is a broom next to it. This actually is updated in real time, and you can always be updated about the housekeeping status, even if you're not in the property at that time. Once the housekeeping staff completes the cleaning for this specific room, they can come back to their mobile phone. They can click one more time on the task. It becomes green. And this means that the room is now clean, and you can be aware about it, because now we can see a sun next to it. Now we also have the traditional way, if the smartphone solution doesn't work for you. So if I come here, options, and then reports, I can now access all the reports that hoteliga has to give you. So in the beginning, you can have here in the upside of the page, your 10 favorite ones, the ones that you want actually to access more frequently. And the rest is divided into categories. So here we have reports about the reservations, about the payments, about the customers, the income, and many other information you wish to get for your property. So the report regarding the housekeeping is the number 18. And what I'm going to show you now, actually, it's for all the reports. So if I want to open a report, I just click on this small button with the array. And here I can select the data I wish the system to give me information for. So I can either here select a past period, so I can see my statistics, or a future period to see my predictions. So here, for example, I selected a random period. And here I can either see the results of the report for all the rooms of my property, or apartments accordingly, or for all the rooms, the total. So for the reports, I have the option to see the report in the screen, or print it out, or save it as a PDF or Excel file. So let's see that in the screen. So for example, maybe I chose a very big period. So for today, for example, here in the first table, you have the complete cleaning for the departures. So if there is an arrival for today, you can see them here. For example, we have Hag coming in. And this is a very way for the housekeeping staff to know how to prioritize their tasks. And here you have the parcel cleaning tasks. So basically, those tasks are being displayed automatically the way you have set them up in your hoteliga account. So you can create some tasks being held in the checkout or the check-in, and then you can select the repetition of some other tasks. For example, may you wish the linen to be changed every 3 days. So
Vicky,
Yeah,
just a
sorry.
question before you
Mhm.
continue. Would you like to show us a couple of reports that you think that are the most important?
Well, we have many important reports depending on the property kind and depending on what we're looking for, right? And the information we're looking for. So based on what Katerina asked, it's a very good opportunity to say here that we have reports that may help you with your daily operations, but we also do have reports to help you actually go into more strategic decisions that you may need. I will answer this question talking about two specific reports that might help you with some more strategic approaches you might wish to take. So first of all, I'd like to show you this report. This is about the occupancy, but we have a more detailed one, but this has a different benefit. Let me select a random period again. So we have a report about occupancy in detail, but this report with just a very quick overview can give you many information about the occupancy for each room type. You can see here some room types in black. This means because I have closed them actually. So let's focus on the rest. So basically here you see some colors. Um, Here you can see with a very quick look that this room type has 0 occupancy for all the dates that I have selected, while this room type has actually 100% occupancy for all those dates. And you can actually see some different grades, for example, yellow colors, and the yellow color and the orange one. So in this way, you might wonder, as this room type keeps having a very low occupancy, maybe I would like to consider changing the price or maybe creating some offers to promote it better. So I believe this is a very useful report. And I consider also another one, this one, very useful. It's about booking agencies. So maybe you want to check where your reservations came from. And this is very important, specifically if we're talking about the OTAs, the online travel agencies, that are actually, we're talking about a very dynamic industry. So if I click here to open this report, let me just again select a random period. So here you might go into very important conclusions about how efficient the travel agencies or the tour agencies you use are. So here you have a pie chart, and here you have also a table saying all this information more analytically. And you can, for example, say that, oh, maybe Airbnb doesn't perform the same way as Booking.com, as we can see here. Or maybe you wish to compare the performance of each channel based on the past year's data. So this is a very important report that might help you lead and decide the best tour agencies and travel agencies for your property, because it's very important to be promoted on the very right channels. And as I mentioned channels, let's go to the channel manager. Before that, let me go back to the calendar of the PMS and let me explain you how this works. So basically, this is the calendar that all the channels that you have connected through the channel manager read at real time. The same is for booking engine. So basically, once you receive a reservation from, let's say, booking.com, the reservation comes directly here. You can see it here in the calendar. Let's imagine that we're talking about this, Fred Regina. This is going to be our example. So once you got this reservation from booking.com, we notify you by here with a notification in the ring bell, with a message in the homepage that we were in the beginning, and you are also notified with an email. The same with the same ways we notify you once you get an update for a reservation, because my Regina Freid might went inside booking.com and she updated her reservation, or for cancellations as well. Of course, we wouldn't like to, but sometimes it happens. So, for example, once Fred Regina might cancel this reservation, the reservation will automatically be disappeared from the calendar. So all the other all the other connected channels will be updated in real time about availability. This is very important because the guest might be from America while your property might be in Thailand, or the other way around. So you have very different time zones. So you can't be awake 24 hours a day to check availability. So all this is happening for you automatically at real time, and you don't need to worry about getting an overbooking or about missing the chance of getting a new reservation in case you had a cancellation. And this is one of the very, very important benefits of the channel manager. So actually, one more thing about the cancellation, and we're going to move to the channel manager calendar. So in case you got a cancellation, the reservation will be disappeared, but at the same time, our system is going to notify you about the cancellation fees the guest needs to pay to you, depending on the cancellation policy you have applied to the extranet. So let's go options. And then channel manager. You don't need to change pages. You don't need to open a new URL. You just come here and select channel manager. And the connection we do have with the channel manager is a two-way connection. So as we can get reservations from the extranets, we can also send information from hoteliga to all the connected channels. If I go here, calendar, and let me tell you that this hotel account that we're currently using is connected to booking.com. That's why we see the logo of booking.com here. You would be able to see all the logos of all the other channels that you would have connected into the channel manager next to it. So what we can do from here, we can send prices, allotment, and restrictions to all the connected channels. And I can do that either for a specific date. So for example, if I want to change the price for the 25th of June, I can come here and I can just set the new price. But I can also do those changes massively for a bigger period of time. So I can come here, bulk update, and I can change the prices, restrictions, or allotment as said before for a longer period, let's say from today till the 29th of June, for the days of the week that I would like to, and for the room types I wish. Here we have one room type, but this is just an example. And here you can just set the new price you wish to apply. The same for the restrictions or the allotment. Just in case of allotment, you can also stop sales if you want. So for example, you may wish for this period to close sales for this room type. So you can just here select 0. So I believe we have covered the more basic information for the channel manager. And I'm gonna speak now to you, Katerina, and I would like to ask you to move on to the booking engine.
Of course. Thank you, Vicky, for sharing all that useful information with us. Now, for the booking engine, hoteliga has its own booking engine, so you can get direct bookings from your website without any commissions. It is an independent page, and if you have a website, you can also integrate it there by adding a booking button, which can be called the call to action, for example, book now or book here. Additionally, we provide you with a code that you can have a widget in your website where the guests can insert the dates they're interested in, and they can be redirected to the booking engine page. So I will start by showing you what the booking engine looks like. So if you see here, you can add your photo in a very good quality, and your logo can have the ability to redirect someone back to your website. Now, the Hotelica booking engine has a great feature, and it is that you can create offers for reservation made from the booking engine and promo codes if you wish to give a discount to a specific person or a group of people. Now, for example, you can create discounts either related to their stay or the board they choose. And also, alternatively, why not give them codes to customers that stayed in your property, or as a reward for customers that chose to stay again in your property, or even give them to new people, and that way you can attract more customers as well. So once they select the dates they want, They can choose them there, like for example, these ones, and they can press search and see all the available rooms. Now, just to let you know, something very important is that the availability is updated in real time as the booking engine reads the PMS calendar the same way as the channel manager that Vicky told us before works. Once they find the room they're interested in, they can click more. And there they have the ability to see all the amenities it has and photos of the room, and you can include text if you want to as well. Now, they can also see your terms and conditions here, and then they can proceed to the next step by pressing book now on the desired room or rooms they want. Here, you can also have some extra services your property offers, and they can book it there from as well. For example, this can be a massage, a transfer, or any other complimentary services you provide your guests with. On the right, they can see the summary and then they can proceed to a payment. They will add all their personal information and select the preferred payment method. Now, once they click book, the reservation will come to your hoteliga PMS with all the information the customer added, but they're going to be pre-filled, so you don't have to add anything manually. And also, they will automatically receive a confirmation email for the reservation. Now, in this point, I would like to say a few words for the payment methods. Hoteliga supports all traditional payment methods, for example, paying with cash in arrival or departure, or a bank transfer of the full amount, or even a down payment if someone wishes to make. However, we do support integration with many online payment gateways like PayPal, To Checkout, Braintree, and many others. And one more thing that is worth mentioning to you is that our booking engine does not work with commission per reservation, but it has its own fixed price depending on your subscription package. Now, I think we have covered everything from the booking engine. Vicky, is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I think you really said everything about the booking engine.
Okay, that's great to hear. So I think we are ready to move on to the Q&A. Let me check to see the chat. Okay, so I see a few questions here. Now, there is someone that's asking if we work with subscriptions or if it is a one-time purchase.
Yes, okay. So we do work with subscriptions, either on an annual or on a monthly basis. You can choose whatever fits best for you. And we can always actually discuss to give you the right and the personalized offer.
Mm-hmm. And another question we have is if we have a partnership with SiteMinder.
Yes, so this is a very good question because we do have an integration with SiteMinder Channel Manager, but we also do support integration with the SiteMinder application store. And for the ones who know the SiteMinder's application store, this is going to be very, very interesting for you because there are many applications that might actually enhance what you do offer to your guests.
Thank you, Vicky. And also one more interesting question is when a reservation arrives from booking, how can they manage it?
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if I understand the question, but let me tell you something that I didn't mention before, so it might be important for you. So, and let me know if you need any further clarification on that, of course. So if you actually have a hotel property that actually has room types, here, as the example we now use, here we have a room type that actually has 3 rooms. And the question is, where the reservation would be placed in that case. And the answer is that the reservation will be placed depending on the availability, but also depending on the priority you have set inside each room. So basically, you might have selected that you need first to sell room 102 and then room 106. In case you have villas or apartments that are unique ones, like for example, room or apartment, better saying, 306, this is not gonna have any different this is not going to be any different because the reservation will directly fall to this apartment. If you wouldn't like that, even if we strongly advise everyone to work like this, you can have the reservation coming from a channel as a reservation not allocated to a specific room. So you would receive it in the PMS, and then you would have to manually allocate it to the room you prefer. I hope I helped and I answered the question, but please do let me know if you need any further information about this. Katerina, I don't know, are there any other questions?
I don't really see anything else in the chat for now. I think we answered everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I forgot to tell you before, and it was a great opportunity, it's a great opportunity, as someone asked about SiteMinder, I would also like to tell you that we have our own API, and this actually gives you the chance to integrate hoteliga with other systems. For example, we do offer multiple integrations. So for example, you may wish to integrate your hoteliga account with a POS or a POS system in case you have a restaurant, for example. In this case, all the charges or that go to the customer from either the bar or the restaurant might fall directly to the reservation window of this specific guest inside Hoteliga. So maybe he doesn't want to pay at the restaurant, or maybe he doesn't he hasn't brought his wallet with him. So no problem, you can just send the charge directly to the reservation window. Other integrations that we have actually are like online check-in, which is very, very important tool as you save a lot of time when checking in a customer. Or it can be a revenue management system, which actually is becoming more and more useful in our days, as everything is very, very dynamic. It can be a passport scanner and many other systems or applications that we could further discuss. I believe we have now covered everything. We can wait for a couple minutes if someone has a further question or needs any further clarification on anything that we have mentioned so far.
Yeah, of course, we can wait a few more minutes to see if something comes up in the chat.
So I believe we're okay. In any case, please feel free to contact us at sales@hoteliga.com for any question you may have or any further information you may need. And we can always arrange an online meeting so we can further discuss about your property needs and any other that you would like to get help with. So I think we can now finish the webinar. Thank you, everyone, joining today.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today with us.
Thank you, Katerina, as well.
Thank you,
Have a
Vicky.
nice afternoon.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.